be heat number 2, C versus T. Sven van der Heyden, second in the championship, will lead the field from pole position. He'll be joined by rookie Alexandre Mercier on the front row of the grid. Mathis Marchalt, no longer with KCR Racing, now with RSD Karting. He'll be joined by the current championship leader on row number 2, Kevin Lantinga. Luca Leistra and Milan Marczak rounding out the top 3 rows. Edwin Merkelbag and Charlie Gloom rounding out row 4. Roberto Bus and Tess for short. Rosanden Driver, Noemeyer Joker Egg. Then we've got Tihon Kinard, Jano Hermans, Senna Pessel, Pepin Steiger, Moritz Moore from Germany, Thijs van Dijk from the Netherlands, Casper Norman from Denmark, and Zachary Gernen from Belgium rounding out the top 20. Completing the 26 strong in this heat will be Rafael Linders, Emilio Del Grosso, Dennis Bowman, Tom Scholz, Jules Van Hul, and Wesley de Goy from the Netherlands. So the temperature, I can see some, I've definitely got some perspiration coming off of my brow at the moment. So it's pretty sweltering. Myself and Guillaume, we're keeping ourselves well hydrated up here in the commentary box, but they're now on the formation lap. We've got 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So Henki Kelteren takes the first win of the weekend. And each of the drivers have 5 opportunities for a race win here this weekend in terms of the qualifying heats. So the person with the most victories, dependent on how the rest of their scoring goes over the course of the weekend, will depend on where they are on the ranking after heats. So strap in, get your popcorn, get your cold iced beverage of choice, and join us for the journey over today and tomorrow for X30 Junior and X30 Senior. X30 Senior being the focus of this and the next race. Then we'll go on to X30 Juniors, just as competitive as the seniors, and it showcases some of the superstars of the future within modern day motorsport. So, Sven van der Heyden versus Alexandre Mercier on the front row of the grid. Van der Heyden focusing rather on Iame Series Germany. He's concentrated on this one because he has an opportunity at a title push. He is only 7 points behind Kevin Lantinga in the standings coming into this penultimate round of the championship season. The red lights are on the gantry once again. 13 rows, 26 drivers, 10 minutes plus an additional lap out of the final corner. Into the tram lines, revs rise, lights are out. And back underway we go. Good start from the inside row. Mathis Marchalt staying in the wheel tracks of Sven van der Heyden as Alexandre Mercier trying to get back onto the front row. Maybe as that is Luke, that might be Luca Leistra throwing it round the outside at turn 4, and contact between him and I think that was Kevin Lantinga in the 332. Oh, the elbows really have come out now, and look at the freight train going down into turn 6 of the Europlan. 2 wide's fine, 3 wide, you're pushing it, and you might be in the barriers, but that was so close between Leistra and Lantinga. There has been a change for second position. In the meantime, Mathis Marchalt has lost out. And, oh, dearie me. Again, another bit of contact involving Luca Leistra through no fault of his own. I think that was Alexandre Mercier sideways under braking, diving into the final corner, but leading the way after the opening lap. And, well, black and white warning flag for the 290 Alexandre Mercier, who started on the front row, but Sven van der Heyden. Oh, there's contact! Leistra's involved again, and the Nassau pedals are skewed to the left-hand side.
Aïe, 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 aïe. Eh bien, cette deuxième épreuve senior, eh bien, qui commençait sur les chapeaux de roue, peut-être un peu trop d'ailleurs, et voilà qui vient d'en coûter à Luca Leistra qui occupait la 4e position et qui vient de tout perdre l'espace de quelques instants à la suite d'un nouveau contact, un nouvel incident là-bas dans le virage numéro 6. 3 pilotes dans la même image impliqués là-bas dans cet incident. Drapeau jaune, et je pense que l'un des 3 va rester sur le carreau, j'en ai bien peur. Mais décidément, la tension est dans l'air, les esprits s'échauffent, se surchauffent peut-être un peu trop vite. Chers amis, nous ne faisons que commencer dans cette épreuve à Genk. La route est longue jusqu'à la finale, il convient d'en garder un petit peu sous la pédale. Vous avez entendu Henki Kelteren à l'interview, il disait de conserver ses pneus.
Exactly.
La chaleur est intense, elle le sera tout au long du week-end. Avoir 2 trains au total, 2 pneus en plus que d'habitude ne signifie pas non plus piloter de manière trop agressive ou tenter le tout pour le tout de manière trop répétée malheureusement, puisque ça pourrait justement porter un préjudice pour le reste du week-end. On a l'impression que c'est ce qui se passe. Certains en tout cas ont l'esprit un petit peu trop chaud pour débuter leur compétition ici à Genk. Et on a vu que eh bien, ça coûte déjà très très gros à certains. Lucas Lestra, on a également perdu de l'aventure des pilotes comme Rosan Dendriver, Noah Meyer, Tyrone Kinnar, Pepen Steiger qui ont perdu énormément de positions. Alexandre Mercier qui est 20e alors qu'il était dans le haut du panier. Malheureusement, il était en première ligne, Alexandre Mercier. Rendez-vous compte. Et c'est l'équivalent d'un abandon à ce stade de la compétition pour certains de ceux qui pensaient jouer la gagne. Mais on devra, je pense, mon cher Alex, se repasser les images pour un petit peu jauger de ce qui s'est passé, dans quel ordre et avec qui, parce que ça s'est passé de manière très très rapide, au point parfois qu'on perdait un peu notre latin sur qui dépassait qui. Et en tout cas, ce qu'on retiendra en tout cas de ces quelques premiers tours très chahutés, c'est que Lucas Lestra et Alexandre Mercier, deux des favoris à la victoire dans cette manche et dans le week-end, eh bien, se retrouvent dans les choux.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Luca Leicester was trying to cover off Alexandre Mercier, and it just came to the point where Mercier was up, his front axle was in the air, rotated, knocked the Nassau panel of Leicester out of the way, over to the left-hand side, and you cannot do that at this moment. You cannot do that as James Merkelbach gets through on a revitalised Mathis Marchalt in the 250, winner of this year's Karting Champions League X30 title, which... we apparently are hearing that there's going to be some new news reference that championship later on in late September of this year. But, you know, he's had a bit of a season to forget, really, the 250. So he's changed allegiances. His mechanic came over to us at the lunch break. He said, "Oh, you see these changes?" I said, "Yeah, it was announced earlier on social media. You can't pull the wool over a commentator's eyes, can you?" But I think it's good. Sometimes they say a change is like a breath of fresh air, and it gives that new found focus and adrenaline. So I wasn't at all surprised. Obviously, when you go to RSD Karting, you've got the likes of Sebastian Bieland, who's a main part of that crew, and they're going to say to that driver, right, we're going to give you the tools. We want you to provide the results. And straight away, first qualifying session, he's up there. And now we're seeing it in the race. But Luca Leicester, Genk seems to be his bogey track at the moment because he didn't get through into the A final last time out 3 weeks ago, and already the first heat has gone completely wrong from his standings, and he's currently now 16th at the moment. But at the front end of the field, Sven van der Heyden is not quite getting away at the moment. Kevin Lantinga's 5.5 tenths of a second behind him, and then you've got the likes of James Merkelbach, Mathis Marchalt, Milan Marczak, who's also been doing some Porsche racing quite recently in the Cups, in I think Carrera Cup Benelux possibly, with Red Ant Racing. So he's dovetailing dual campaigns, one in a tin top, one on a kart. And sometimes karting is the foundation. Like I remember Karen Chandok, ex-Mahindra Formula E driver, ex-Formula One driver. He always said that karting was so useful because it built up my neck muscles, built up my core. And that's what drivers nowadays will do. They'll do karting alongside a mainstay in motorsport. And that's why you see people come back and back. Glenn Van Parijs is another perfect example. He's just set up his new coaching academy as a co-founder. He raced in gearbox karting whilst doing Carrera Cup Benelux. As we see a nice little move. That is Roberto Bars from WJS Racing through on Charlie Gloom from RSD. That was a change for 7th position. So nice move there by the 285 from the Netherlands.
Et 4 minutes et 1 tour jusqu'au drapeau à damier avec Sven van der Heyden, toujours près de 6 dixièmes d'avance sur Mathis Marchalt qui étrenne ses nouvelles couleurs du team RSD Karting ce week-end avec Kevin Lantinga en 3e position. La pression est encore grande sur les épaules de Mathis. Kevin Lantinga, le leader du championnat de Belgique pour l'instant, leader au point dans un classement somme toute très provisoire avec encore une épreuve à disputer après celle-ci du côté de Mariembourg. Ce sera pour le début du mois d'octobre. Mais Kevin Lantinga et Sven van der Heyden qui sont en train de mener cette épreuve ne sont séparés que par 7 petits points dans la lutte pour le titre national cette saison. Et nous avons James Merkelbach à 3 secondes qui tient la 4e place, suivi par Milan Marzak, Tesversko, Roberto Bas, Charlie Glum, ainsi que Jarno Hermans et Jules Van Hul en 10e position. Quelques belles remontées également au signalé, celle d'Emilio Del Grosso, 11 places jusqu'aux portes du top 10 dans ce peloton on ne peut plus chahuter après ses premiers tours. On garde évidemment l'œil bien concentré sur les bagarres encore en cours pour les places d'honneur, puisque pour l'instant rien ne bouge entre les deux leaders, Van der Heyden et Mathis Marchalt. On ne le dira jamais assez, c'est du kart de compétition, ce sont des courses évidemment dans un format sprint, mais malgré tout c'est une accumulation de sprints qui rend les week-ends
Yes.
très longs, très compétitifs, très durs évidemment. Donc chaque mini-sprint eh bien, doit, on va dire, être considéré avec le reste du week-end en termes de performance. Ça ressemble presque à de l'endurance en quelque sorte entre gros guillemets, puisque chaque pilote eh bien, doit garder en tête qu'après cette course-ci, il y en aura 4 autres à disputer dans le cadre de la catégorie senior et que chaque performance accumulée peut lui valoir non seulement des points au championnat, mais surtout une place de choix sur la grille de départ de la finale. Donc certes, chaque pilote doit être dans le moment, alors que ça passe à la corde là-bas dans le virage numéro 5 de l'Europa LAN. C'était, je pense, pour le gain de la 5e place, si je ne m'abuse. On va y revenir, mais ça continue de se battre justement de l'autre côté au niveau de la chicane entre nos deux protagonistes là-bas. On a le numéro 287 de Milan Marzak et Tess Versko. Donc c'est bel et bien la bataille là-bas pour la 6e position avec Roberto Bass qui a pris l'avantage sur Milan Marzak, mais ces deux-là n'ont pas fini de s'expliquer. Charlie Glum depuis la 8e place qui revient de plus belle et qui pourrait bien se mêler aussi à cette lutte pour les quelques miettes restantes du festin. À moins de 2 minutes à un tour du drapeau à damier. Et un écart qui n'augmente pas, qui même diminue légèrement entre Sam van der Heyden et Matthijs Merschoot. Matthijs Merschoot qui a gagné un petit peu dans son premier secteur pour grignoter cet écart sur Sam van der Heyden en tête.
Oui, vraiment, les hostilités sont commencées ici dans la catégorie reine X30 senior ici à Genk. So the hostilities have very much commenced. It was elbows out, batten down the hatches and hold on for dear life. But Sam van der Heyden for the Sim on Hout Racing team doing a really, really good job. They've also got part of the team also running at Kaupen, I think it's this weekend, for the Deutsche Meisterschaft this weekend. So the good thing is Sam, as I said, is concentrating on this. He feels that he's got an opportunity to compete really, really well, and being 7 points within Kevin Lantinga after the halfway point of the season was reached 3 weeks ago as of officially. He's done a really good job. 5-second time penalty, I think, is going the way of Alexandre Mercier. Oh, now that could be in lieu of maybe that contact with Luca Leistra earlier on, because Leistra is trying to cover off, and if Mercier's gone a bit too robustly, because it was like they were crossing over, if you will, going through into turn 2, but we will await for official confirmation. We've had no announcement through our live timing service at the moment, but Alexandre Mercier has got the fastest lap of the race so far, 54.657. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased to see Matthijs Merschoot now. He's actually starting to catch Sam van der Heyden slightly per sector. He was actually fractionally off in the first and second sectors, but we are going to go on to the final lap here for X30 Senior Heat 2, C versus D. Sam van der Heyden leads. Matthijs Merschoot, a revitalised Matthijs Merschoot. Kevin Lantinga, the current points leader, rounds out the top 3 ahead of Jims Merkelbach, Tess Verschoor, Roberto Baz, Milan Marzak, Charlie Glum, Jarno Hermans and Jules Van Hoel, who started 25th, now rounds out your top 10. We've had a couple of, we've had 4 drivers out. Wesley de Goy, Casper Norman, Pepin Steiger, Tihon Kinard completing, from 23rd to 26th on that particular occasion. So, Sam van der Heyden doing exactly what he needs to do. Roberto Baz trying to close in on Tess Verschoor in the dying moments of this race, coming out of turn number 10. So the driver from KCR Racing versus the man from Belgium in the 285. But it is going to be a win. 2 different winners so far. First of all, Henky Counter, and now it's another Dutchman in the form of Sam van der Heyden. That picks up Heat 2. Matthijs Merschoot, new colours, second place on his first heat with them. Ahead of Kevin Lantinga, the points leader. Jims Merkelbach, Roberto Baz, Tess Verschoor, Milan Marzak, Charlie Glum, Jarno Hermans and Jules Van Hoel rounding out the top 10. Luca Leistra will come across the line to finish in 11th. Head of Senna Pessel, Emilio Del Grosso, Thijs van Dijk, Rafael Leenders, Alexandre Mercier, Roseanne Den Driver, Dennis Bowman, Tom Schultz, and Zachary Gurnan round out the top 20. Moritz-Moore, 21st, head of Noah Mayer, who was involved in that multi-cart incident out of turn number 6. There is going to be a clean-up operation because there are a couple of drivers and their carts stricken by turns 6 and 7. Tihon Kinard and Pepin Steiger, I believe, are the 2. With Casper Norman, Wesley de Goy, unfortunately out on the opening tour. But there you go. Sam van der Heyden takes the win after 11 minutes, 1.5 seconds. And his best lap at a 54.850. And there you see the respective carts. And of course, every single driver running the Iame 125cc X30 engine. And Sam van der Heyden joins Henki Coultheren as a race winner here this weekend at round 4.